way when I was a kid. So I am a believer of you have to be an adult first. And once you're an adult and you experience life and then you make those decisions, fine. But when you're a child and you really haven't experienced much in life, don't make such strong decisions that you cannot come back from. Period. Period. Agree with me, disagree with me. I'm open to agreeing to disagreeing. But until you walk the shoes, opinions are just like doorknobs and a-holes. Everybody got one. Take it or leave it. There are a lot of things that I think everybody shies from in conversating with because of the controversy and who you might offend and how you might offend them and who's going to dislike you or who's going to judge you because you think whatever way you do. Been there, done that, could write a book, probably don't have the patience because my verbiage is still real questionable. God's still working on me. But with all of that being said, we're fighting a lot of controversy. We're fighting a lot of information. Some information good, some information bad, and some in between because there are a lot of facts that are missing. Each individual person has a certain set of experiences, and you can't compare an experience of someone not having food to eat or being homeless or being sexually abused or being physically abused, whether by partner or by parents or by family members, with someone whose feelings was hurt because they didn't get asked to the prom by the guy that they liked, or someone who the worst thing that happened in their life is crashing their mama's car, or I didn't get to choose where I'm having my sweet 16 at. Some people can't even think about a sweet 16. We'd be blessed if our child makes it to 16 out here in these streets. So I have had the privilege of understanding both sides of that fence. And I rest on the side of all of us becoming the best parents that we can be so that our children don't have to face those dilemmas. But the fact of the matter is they do. And we can't be so blind to them because now that's not something that's thrown in our face in the everyday aspect, that we don't address those facts of reality with our children. Because what happens is our children are now catered to, coddled to, and privileged, spoiled, all of the words that you come up with. And then they're sitting in a room with a fighter. Someone who had to get it how they get it. And they don't know how to measure up to that. When at the same time, you both are in the same room because you are masters in your own individual world. So own that and accept each other for who you are so that you can coexist in the same space. Instead of battling with the you're not good enough because, and in the fighter's eyes, well, you ain't good enough because. Who's right? Who's wrong? Nobody. At the end of the day, God gave the fighter a different set of ingredients than he gave the privileged child. The bottom line is, what dish did you make out of it? And the dish that you made out of it landed you in the same room. And because you're in the same room, now I need you to run that room and cater and speak to both of your audiences in a way to where both of your audiences understand that I'm real. That's what I've learned coming from New York to South Carolina. Still don't fit in now. I still don't fit in, but I don't fit out either. I'm just here. And I'm okay with whether you like me or whether you don't. I've experienced the I can't stand that girl and they never had a conversation with me. I've experienced the have a conversation with me, love me, and then eventually can't stand me. Or have a conversation with me, now I get you, love me, and now we're the best of friends. But at a long handle spoon, because sometimes you can be a little bit too much, or you don't agree with what I'm saying, or I don't agree with what you're doing. No matter how you look at it, shake it up, roll it all together, at the end of the day, you made your plate with your ingredients, and I made my lemonade with my lemons, and that's just the end of the story. I probably did a little rambling, but my main factor and my main point is we got to help the ones that are coming up and having kids, because it's hard to work on a career, have aspirations for a real authentic relationship at some point in time in life if you don't have one already. And then sometimes if they do, because they don't always be right. Understanding the difference between a relationship that God put together and something that you put together yourself. I could go on and on and on. That's why I employ for you to really put comments and statements, questions, food for thought into the comment section below, because it's never ending. And our babies really do need guidance. They don't know. And got fellas that watch the video, no offense to y'all, but not to the good ones, but them MF ones that's out there that really just be looking for someone who's emotionally sensitive and vulnerable, and her rent gonna be $10 whether I'm there or not, and she ain't got to work, and she want her weave and her nails and her sneakers done, so I'm gonna utilize that to make sure she keep them things done, and then I ain't got to worry about really helping her take care of her kids or being a real father figure to her children, because them little bastards, excuse my French, but I've had experiences where a man I was in a relationship with was explaining to me how he talked to his ex's children that were not his. And he was like, I tell him, get your motherfucking ass. What? Not my royalty babies? No, you won't talk to them. Baby, listen. I like you. We're going to sit down and we're going to cultivate our relationship so that you can learn how to talk to kids better than that. Even if my kids are bad, you're not going to talk to them like that. And as a woman, you don't allow no man to talk to your kids like that, especially if that ain't their daddy. Don't do it if y'all either. But don't do it if you're not, because you got to be the saving grace for them kids. She's already broken. So now here you are, and you going to talk to the kids worse. You're making her broken and them kids broken. I don't know where my mind or my heart or my life would be if my stepfather was that horrible to me. He was better to me than either one of the men that I knew were my father. It can't be like that. And no, I can't reach everybody in the world. But at some point in time, we all have to reach out there and help our babies, because they are having babies younger and younger and younger. I don't know, I saw an article the other day stating that in, I want to say, Minnesota, they want to marry the babies at 12. What? As soon as you get your period, you're able to create babies. What are you doing? No. No. When you think about the prisons and how they're filled with men who are raping children, could you imagine the souls on this earth who are broken because they were violated, and either no one saw it or no one cared, or once they did, I'm still broken because it happened. Been there too, by the way, might I add. So we have to help our babies. And even if they didn't come from your womb, and some of these girls are really fast-mouthed and really fast-attituded because They think they know it all, and it's really because of the experiences they had. And nobody ever took them and laid them on their head and gave them a hug with love to where they could feel the heartbeat of their mother like our newborns do. And no, baby, it's okay. Or, tell me what's going on and I'll really tell you something or give you a word of advice that will speak to a better future for you. We gotta help our babies. They don't know how to fill out applications for medical coverage. They don't know how to apply for public assistance. They don't know how to fill out W-2 forms, W-4 forms, excuse me. I know I had good jobs and still didn't know how to put how many dependents I was putting on the W-4. I would have to call one of my family members and ask them, what do I put here again? Because I was too ashamed to let them people know that I didn't know what I was doing. So I speak from a place of walking those shoes, not thinking I'm better than or knowing the answer already. And child, why you don't know that? Like, it's bad. It's real bad. And we owe it to them to help them. I feel like the blood, sweat, and tears of our ancestors, both African American, Jewish, Italian, Caucasian, any ethnicity you can think of under the sun. Many have shed their blood because in some shape, form, or fashion, their ethnicity was facing some sort of injustice. Women fighting for equal rights, fighting to be noticed on the same platform and in the same like as a man. Keynote, I do not want to do everything a man can do. Matter of fact, I want to draw a thick, wide line that lets you know what I'm willing to do as a woman and what I expect from you as a man. Wide line. I'm tired. Single parenthood is very rewarding, but it can wear a woman thin. And when these babies who have not even figured out who they are, because I don't know about you, but as a young woman growing up, I know I did not know who I was at 20, even though I was busting the baby out. I was pop locking and dropping and busting that baby out, and I did not know who I was. I figured it out along the way, and I'm grateful that me and my son have a good relationship, even though that was the case, and that I am still his mother, not his friend, but I'm also his friend because now he's grown and I want him to trust me with the troubles in his life. So I'm appreciative of it. But I also wish that I would have had somebody give me the details, because maybe if I would have gotten the details, then that thug with swag wouldn't have been able to get me how he got me to where I ended up having a baby and him not being there. I would have known before the baby was implanted that he would have chosen the street first. And I would have waited till he, either got his mind together or God would have given me somebody else who was going to do the baby and be there too. So it's really a toss of the draw. And there's no real template. We're told and taught as Christians that the Bible is the way of life before leaving this earth. However, we're also mixed in a world with people who don't care about that. And we have to encounter with them on a daily basis. So what may work for what may be the mature way to handle things with someone else who values God and his position in this world and in their life, you can't handle the same situation with someone who doesn't. because it would be like just being bullied. And God fights our battles, but He also expects for you to have a backbone and stand up for yourself. So that thin line between love and hate becomes the thin line between survival and demise. And depending on who you're dealing with, you have to handle a situation differently. Because if you don't, who knows what the ending result of the situation could be. We gotta help our babies. Comment, like, share, subscribe. Give me some suggestions. Tell me what's on your mind. Do you agree? Do you disagree? Can we agree to disagree? Do you have all boys? Do you have all girls? What's your experience like? I'm curious to know. Mo, in Mo's world. Talk to you later.